call this meeting to order, and then we'll get a chairperson who can call it to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So as the vice chair, I'll call it to order, and then I think we'll do another nomination for the chair. Yeah. Thank you. So we'll call the meeting to order. We did the let's do roll call. How do we do that? Anybody?
Follow
Go ahead.
TTC Vice Chairperson Brock Gibson.
Here.
TTC member Amanda Schwint.
Here.
TTC member Whitney Tucker.
Here.
TTC member Tom Hooper.
Here.
TTC member Roseanne Ane.
Here.
Board Liaison Joe Steiger. Chamber of Commerce Rep Dina Kreitler. She emailed. And St. John County Representative Karen Stupy.
Here.
Got a quorum.
Okay. Do we want to start with the nomination, or do we want to?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will officially nominate Tom Hooper as chair.
I'll second that.
They're done that. We can,
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Congratulations.
yeah.
Can I hand it over? Thank you.
Very good. I'll take it out of your tip. I'll take it out of your tip, Charles.
Thank you.
Yes, we have approval agenda for tonight.
All motion approved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Any nay? Approval of previous minutes.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any corrections or negatives? That's approved. Financial report, Aaron?
Yeah, do we officially have a treasurer?
Do we don't have officially have a treasurer?
No, the city performs those functions, they have a secretary.
So who officially goes in anything?
I do. I mean, yeah. So we had, as of right now, we've collected $1,714 in bed tax. Again, some are collected on a quarterly basis, and so we might not get that final number for a while. Or is that the final number? Happy?
You look at the bottom, it's got,
Okay.
yeah, that would be the number.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Okay.
And other than that, we are currently sitting at $89,003.81 in our total budget.
Make a motion to approve? Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Financial report approved. Time for public comments.
Anybody? Public?
Specific.
No,
Your item's coming up, Sam. You can wait. Yeah. Unless you had something else you wanted to know.
In old business, any reports from any of the activities, the holidays, holiday festival, the house tours, La Real? I can speak on the holiday Christmas festival. I thought they were all, the parade was very well attended. I would have liked to see some more action in some of the
concerts. Some of the concert halls were empty, like, the Lutheran church and the Presbyterian church, but for the most part, it had a good turnout. There were people walking around all day. The keyboard house had a nice turnout for their open house. Whitney, how do you feel like you guys did for La Réveillon?
It's interesting. We had more out of town guests this year. So last year, just for the 5 to 7 evening program, we had around 200 people. This year we did about 120, which is kind of a big difference for us. But the people who did come to our evening program were mostly from out of town, based on our conversations with them, whereas usually we see the reverse.
Cool.
So while the number was lower, the reach was farther, so that was kind of promising.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, hopefully that'll like some word of mouth and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, and we did it differently this year, so that may have played into it. We'll see how next year goes.
I can tell you, representing Audubon's for a second, that I realized in the middle of the day on Saturday that we made a mistake not having something in the beer garden Christmassy that would have been like, it would have just,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that would have just topped things off. I was just sitting in Audubon's looking over there thinking, handing people hot chocolate and Christmas. I'm just like, oh man, we messed that up. So I definitely will have that on our radar. For
Live
next
and
year.
learn.
Yeah.
I'm not pointing anybody out as far as advertising on this event, but me personally, I was trying to find out what time the parade was, and I literally could not find it. And I didn't know where to look either. So,
Yeah, and the route, we
Yeah.
struggled because we were actually in the parade. And so we were trying to set up, plan for the parade. We
Yeah.
couldn't find it till the day before. I think we found a post on
Yeah.
Facebook, but leading up to that was almost impossible.
I think everything got out really late. I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah, there was, I saw some things on Facebook, but they were a little, some of the lines were, because they did a double back, and it was a little hard to follow just on a small picture.
yeah, it's Annette, right, that runs that? Is she like a one person that, and maybe she should,
She has a committee. She
does have a committee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, I don't know how she had it divvied out, but she does have a committee.
yeah.
Most of those people have been doing it for.
Well, probably
6, 7,
doing
8.
an email with a full page size map that could be downloaded and printed. That way the store owners could have that in their stores to help people out.
That would be so helpful.
I know
Yeah,
our-
or even just even a Facebook page.
I know Third Street, where we were, there was no parking.
Yeah.
And people started showing up about an hour and a half before the parade.
Mm.
It looks like one of the biggest, in the 4
It
years
did.
that I've been here.
Oh,
it was the biggest
It
turnout.
was the most, I helped, usher out the parade, floats from the desert parking lot, and it's the most we've ever had as far as, that's my only part, and I only screwed up a couple of other parts. I forgot to release the St. John marching band, but they finally figured out they went in together, yeah. Because they were staged over in front of the church, and I forgot they were over there. So finally, the band director took it upon himself, and
I did notice they were playing a little faster. Maybe.
I mean, we had to park the fire trucks out on Merchant because we just wouldn't have had enough room in the desert for all the participants in the parade. So it's a good problem to have. And the parade route, we had to change the parade route because otherwise they'll be run. Well, even still, after we extended the parade route, there were still the original the front. Probably 15 or 20 entries into the parade were already back on the desert before I had everybody out on
Yeah.
the parade.
Wow.
There was at
Yeah.
least 15 people back in the desert finished before people had even left.
Yeah, it's huge.
So
So what was the response of the people involved in the experience? Did they feel like that, I mean, do you feel like they're coming back?
oh yeah, everyone. I think had great weather. It was a good. Last year it was kind of a little colder, but this year it was nice weather and it worked out really well. So it'll only grow, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think this town is maybe sound weird to say this, but I think this is a Christmas town. I mean, I think if we get Christmas right, it could put us on the map as far as tourism, because there is something cute and quaint about this town that makes it Christmas feel really nice.
yeah, absolutely.
As that grows, I think we'll see see some positive responses.
Now, I'm not sure, if this is the role of this board, but, there's kind of a theme coming out as like this is my first full year. I've now seen pretty much all of the events firsthand, outside of a handful that I haven't been able to make it to. And there's this, it's almost like we need to come up with a report that we can send back to people who put these on and go like, hey, this is our feedback on like, you need to get this out more on time, this out more on time. Just, I'd be happy to take that on, but maybe if that's, we could get, so it doesn't sound like the tourism director says, you're doing bad.
Just like some pointers.
After action report,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what could have been done better, just because we do, and it's nothing negative, is that we want this to grow.
Yeah, and anything you do, you want to always make it better. I mean, I don't know what you would do in life and not want to make it better.
Maybe there's some sort of survey that
Yeah.
could automatically go out to certain businesses in town or all businesses in town, and just, even, you could do it anonymously or not, but an automatic survey after every, that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Just have one that you can send out after each event.
Right, and then it becomes more of a.
Well, and then you would have the responses from everyone else to give to the chairperson, and it wouldn't be coming from you that way.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Roseanne?
What can we do between now and the next board meeting then?
I'll take a look at, possible surveys that they might.
surveying.
You can even do, or even like a Google form that you send out. We use those a lot.
Survey Monkey, we use a lot with our interpreters, and you can schedule it. So if you know that December 7th is when you want it to go out,
Oh, yeah.
you can schedule it, it'll send December 7th.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
nice, okay.
Do we have a website? I mean, is it St. John or is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you know who hosts that? Is that like GoDaddy or who do you use?
Yeah, I think we use GoDaddy.
GoDaddy does forms. I mean, they
Oh,
will,
yeah.
they will do forms and they'll do.
So would you suggest sending this to like a certain, like select people?
I would think the business owners in town, pretty much every business owner on,
But here's my thought on that though, business owners, they're not out on the street in the event.
Right.
I think there should be maybe a mix, like some business owners, some,
And something to go to the general public too, so families maybe that we know are coming into town are gonna sit there as,
We can put on
watchers.
cards.
Right.
Put them on
Well, you
cards
could put a
and-
link to the survey on the Facebook page or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, just check.
That'd be the easiest.
Maybe we do two of them, one that does go to the business owners and one that we put
Yeah.
out just to put to the public.
Yeah, that's. Excellent. And then upcoming events, we've got the King's Ball, and of course Mardi Gras will be coming up as well, Mardi Gras in Maine.
Aaron, I'm gonna, I attended the lighted Christmas
yeah,
parade on
right.
Sunday that the Oktoberfest group put on.
Yeah,
I was just I wasn't a committee member or anything like that. I was just I had a side by side in the actual parade, and it was a lot of fun too. It was started at 6 o'clock, and it had, I don't know, maybe it had 40-ish, maybe a third, or maybe even less than that, maybe a quarter of what the big parade had on last weekend. But it was still a lot of fun. There was a lot of people on the street. People were singing, having a good time. There wasn't a lot of candy being thrown, which was kind of good in a way because we overdo it, which is a good thing. I mean, everybody wants to participate, but it was just a really fun. It was a good evening too. Like weather cooperated. We had police escort front and back. I can't remember, at least in front. And so it went off without a hitch, and it was just a nice, fun little event too as well. So kudos to the Oktoberfest for putting that on and sponsoring that. It was fun to have it on an evening like that.
yeah. Well, and I think Sam's sitting in the crowd, but she had said something about how do we get, she might want to do that again for the Mardi Gras. in Maine.
Oh, yeah.
Who did they?
I mean, I think you can get all those people back to come and participate in that parade. Would be happy to do it because it just was a nice,
You
easy
hear that,
fun
Sam?
event.
Joe thinks it would be easy for you to get, or for us, or for Little Bohemia to get everyone back who did that parade.
That was the greatest parade ever.
It was really nice,
Ever.
really good, yeah.
Yeah, I want them for Mardi Gras for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, if maybe you could hit up the Oktoberfest group and see if they would give you
They're the
their.
ones who did that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah,
it was Kara Burt, and so I would assume it was through Oktoberfest. And she might give you because you had to register to be a participant in it. And they even charged a fee because they had to cover for some liability insurance and stuff like that. But it was, I don't know, it was minuscule, and I didn't mind doing it, and it was good.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That's all I got. I just wanted to kind
So King's Ball is coming up. I know they were pretty gangbusters last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go. I was doing something for the Horizons grant, some sort of thing that was required of me. But I'm really excited to see this one in action. This is one of the handfuls that I didn't get to see. And I just think, one of the coolest things that we have in this town is that we do operate on this sort of French colonial calendar. And this is like the big event where, we get to find out who's going to be the king and queen of St. John. I mean, what's cooler than that? So I'm excited about that. And then we have Mardi Gras in Maine, who we'll say.
When is that?
That'll be February 1st. Where's your second? I think. Maybe it's the 3rd. Is it? Okay. Hold on, let me look at my calendar.
Yeah,
real
the
quick.
5th is a Wednesday. It's either the 1st or the 8th.
It's the 1st then. Yeah, it is the 1st. So yeah, that'll be February 1st. That's it. There's on that. I guess can we move to
Now,
the tourism?
February 3rd is a Monday.
Yeah, so February 1st.
First, yeah.
All right, do you mind if we move to the tourism director report? So the branding initiative is going really well right now. I've just got Blacktop Sailor came out October 28th, 29th. Interviewed a handful of business owners. We went and saw everything throughout the town, and then just this past week on Monday, we sat down and they kind of presented their first round of sort of slogans. So presented 3 slogans, which represented 3 distinct sort of directions that we can take the town, and they're all quite promising. I think we've kind of narrowed it down. We will probably host some sort of public little get together where people can come together and see that, but they want to get some design, some branding design work done. So one of their team members is going to come back down, spend some time here, and actually do the designing here. So that'll be quite cool. So we're on pace. I think January 10th was supposed to be the brand launch date, but it might be a little bit later than that. It seems pretty close to me to be launching that, but you never know. I think this is going to happen in pretty short order. I went to Atlanta for the Travel South International Showcase. That was really cool. So I've met with people from all over the world, tour operators from Quebec, France, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, Japan, and really kind of pitch St. John. And what's funny is each country kind of wants something different, but it is really interesting that I think St. John can fit that bill for most anybody. And how I was trying to sell us is, a lot of people do that trip from Chicago down to New Orleans. So St. John's a perfect time to kind of step outside of the cities, see small town America in a very quiet small town, a small historic town, and kind of see, kind of how America was formed with seeing these very old frontier buildings that we have. So I think it was really well received. I'm not sure what sort of traction we'll get from it this year, but it's a 3-year commitment to go out to those things. The next one's in Kansas City. I know the tour operator from Quebec is really interested in sending people to the French Heritage Festival. He's going to come down for this one, and then in 2026 he's going to cater a tour just to send people to the French Heritage Festival. And then there's a French tour operator who's going to send he has a tour that goes around Missouri, and he's going to send a French influencer to come here. So we'll put her up or him up in one of our houses and show them around. So that'll be very interesting. But yeah, I just thought it was a great opportunity for exposure. And one of the people that I was introduced to before actually runs the Laura plantation in Louisiana. And they're the only plantation in Louisiana that gives tours in French. So, and he speaks that guy speaks Creole, Cajun, and he's fluent in French as well. But they get a lot of tours from Quebec and things like that. And so he was talking about just the kind of what we're missing out on by not maybe offering things in French. And so it was a good perspective sort of shift for me to kind of go like, wow, we could be doing a little bit more. They said 30% of their tourism is based on French speakers. So he said, I don't even think we could survive if we didn't have that. So, and seeing the interest from the French and the Quebec, the French Canadians, I think that could be a big thing moving forward. So I'm going to try to use the French Heritage Festival as a vessel for that, to kind of foster that. In fact, we put together a group. I just got out of a meeting yesterday with that guy. His name's Joseph Dunn. Brian Hawkins, who's a guy out of Kansas City, who takes these recordings of Missouri French. People speaking, telling these folk tales, and then he animates them. And then there's a Harvard professor that teaches a North American French class. It's all in French. And she's from Michigan. So you have she's really trying to drum up the Midwest French culture that we've had. And so she's going to come down for the French Heritage Festival. So it was a really, really good event. And it's just amazing how you can how one event you think is going to, perform one function actually performs a totally different function. Now we got people who are going to come down for the French Heritage Festival and hopefully make that more, instead of a community festival, kind of widen our community a little bit. So I think that's really fun. So anyway, been talking. That's all I got tonight.
That's great. Okay. Any new business?
Well, we've got this thing on here called the bandwagon. Joe approached me with the idea that maybe we need to get an old hay wagon and turn it into a little stage that people can, that we can. I wouldn't say rent out, just kind of lease out, give out for different festivals, like if Conapalooza needs a stage.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
We can just roll it out into the streets. We found an old hay wagon here in St. John for $750, so I think we wanted to talk about using some funds from our $89,000.
And $3, yes.
Yeah,
My very first thought when you said that was, that's pretty cheap.
That's very cheap. I want to buy it first.
I would. Sometimes you get what you pay for. So I mean, if this is something that I think, which I do, I think that that could be, that's a great idea. I really like
It's
that.
just a portable, it's a portable band.
It's a portable stage. That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
We constantly need it for different events that,
Yeah.
it won't fit for every event. Sometimes
Sure.
they're bigger events, but for a lot of our events that we have now, it might serve us well for, you know.
Yeah.
But it could be a meeting point, you know, a point, a central point, there, and make sure that schedules of things that were happening, all of that.
We've been renting them at different times, and you have to get a company to come in or get a couple people to come in and set them all up, and then you gotta tear it all down. This, you just hook it up to the back of the truck
Yeah.
and pull it back down to the shed and put it away.
So, is it something that we could rent out and generate revenue off of it, or is that, and I just mean to pay for itself, I don't really.
I mean,
The reason I ask that is because my feeling is that if we're gonna do that, I think we should do it right and get something, maybe this is the right one, but I would say we look for a trailer that fits exactly what we're trying to do and have something better quality, you know? If this isn't, I haven't seen this trailer.
It's in good shape.
Maybe it's just,
Yeah, it's in good shape. It's got good wood, it's got good tires on it. I mean, there's not much to them, you know, so I mean, it's in decent shape from what it looks like, so.
I think the fun part would be like we could design it
Yeah,
ourselves
yeah.
and maybe kind of,
Mhm.
you know,
Put
have
some signage on it.
Yeah.
definitely put some signage on it, you know, and,
Well, at least for $750, you give it a try. If it
Yeah.
doesn't use it, then, but if it's something that's heavily used, then think about spending more money and doing it a little bit different the
Yeah.
next time. But for that price,
Yeah.
that's worth a gamble to
Yeah.
see it.
And I know the fair board has talked about, purchasing a stage because at the fair, the last 2 years we've had to,
Improvise and come up with something.
yeah, rent one out and have people come in and set it up. And then I know at the last fair board meeting, maybe partnering with CHIPS events, Frankfurt Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how that's going to progress, but I know it's been discussed,
So maybe you guys can rent from,
I think they need, a little bit bigger stage, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. If that maybe comes to fruition too, that they had talked about that too, if they purchased one, maybe possibly, renting it out, for different events, within the downtown area or whoever might need it. But I'm just putting that out there. I don't know that that's going to happen.
were they talking about like a portable one? Basically like a
I think so, yes.
It would also be great as a point for if we have guest bands or musicians or puppeteers or something like that, to have a stage that they can use during events and have that preset. And because sometimes they don't know where they're going to set up or what they're going to do, and that would be something that they would be permanent, that could be moved depending on what the event is.
yeah, it doesn't have to just be for music, it could be for anything.
So what would be the parameters for qualifying to rent it, uses, et cetera?
Yeah, we'd have to come up with some
Yeah.
request form or something.
yeah.
I don't know if we have a model for that to run. I mean, I think maybe it'd just be you reserve a spot in the park at the big pavilion. Is there a fee to rent out the pavilion
I believe if they're outside city limits, it's a fee.
if you're not a resident? Yeah. I don't know.
You're over here shaking your head.
I would
It don't matter if you're in town or out.
Just rent it out or,
borrow it,
rent it, not a paid rent.
yeah, okay.
and something they can sign like if you
Yeah,
rent it.
deposit kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe a deposit.
I mean,
No deposit?
I'm gonna be sort of, Joe and I are kind of the yin and yang of things. He wants to do stuff, and I pull back and say, hang on.
It's a good
We have
balance.
liability that we have to consider, we have employees that we have to consider, or we can actually contract it out. We had a tent at one time, and that turned into a mess, of setting it up for people. So I don't want this to turn into that same type of situation. So I am more cautious, and it's like, I don't know if that's our responsibility. As a city.
So if we have a trailer that we would say park somewhere and somebody wants to use it and they sign the form, they sign, basically, if you do damages, you pay for it. And they're in charge of taking it and bringing it back. Basically, it's off hands.
It sounds simple, but what happens if something happens on the way there? If they're in an accident? They set it, well, if we let them set it up,
Right,
what kind of
you're
responsibility?
right,
do they
yeah,
have?
if we license the trailer then.
Right.
Maybe that's an insurance question.
The insurance follows the vehicle, so as long as, I mean, we'd almost have to make sure they have proof of insurance. that
Yeah.
They would cover the trailer. Well,
So could we gather a list of questions, concerns, et cetera, get the answers to those, and then decide?
yeah, like, do we need a request form? On the request form, what would it have? What liabilities do we need to cover? Is it just insurance? Who's gonna do the setup?
Right. I mean, you know, if it's, not that, again, there's a million things that can go wrong, but, you know, if they rent it and our guy's just dropping off in the location that it's set to be dropped off in, you know, and then they're responsible for it from there, and then we pick it up, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's that would seem to be.
It seems like we would need some sort of legal contract for that.
Just a liability release. Yeah. So, I mean, we do it right now. We send out trash cans, you know, for a different events, you know, so it'd be the same concept. We don't have them go through hoops to use our trash cans at certain events, but, you know, we have Alliance that goes out and sets them out and dumps them and puts them away. So it's not something we can't overcome. For $750, we can get our money back. If we decide we don't want it anymore, you can sell it and get your money back, and, you know, you're not going to be out. But I think there's a way to logistically get over the hurdle of having an asset like this to be able to use for different types of events.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a try and asking the right person all the, you know,
So sorry, I have a
insurance
question.
company, lawyer.
I have a question. So would it just be the wagon then? Would there be electronic components set up to it? The renter would be responsible for setting up the electronic
Yeah, I
components?
don't think we don't have any of that.
So we would just have
Just
the
a
wagon?
Hey, well,
Yep, just the stage.
yeah, we don't have any of that stuff. So the city or any of the, most of the groups don't even have that. It'd have to be like a
Right.
band.
Right.
But normally they bring their own stuff in.
Yeah, they do.
Sound system or whatever. Yeah. So I don't,
Worth looking at.
I mean, it doesn't sound like anything that really a decent waiver form or release form can handle or couldn't handle, you know? Is there some type of lawyer or somebody that would look at it, or like if we come up with something, like somebody look at it that knows the law?
We do have a city lawyer. Do we have a release form would be similar to what?
We come up with something a little more specific for this. We also consult with our insurance carrier.
Yeah.
See what their restrictions might be, and incorporate that into it.
Good, if it's something that we want to pursue, then,
Do we want to approve the purchase of it, or do we want to wait until we have some of those things lined up?
I think we make sure that we can legally, there's not going to be a loophole that just becomes a money pit or, you know, a liability situation. But I think it's something we should move forward on. But I think we also need to move forward with caution.
So what I look at is that you all will be approving the expenditure, but the board is going to have to ultimately say, yes, we want to do this as a city function, or a function of the city. So.
Yeah, because it would be city
I think
property.
in that way, we cover some of these bases that you're asking about. Make sure we ask those questions and get those covered.
well, if somebody wants to make we want to move forward with and make a motion to approve the expenditure, and then it will go to the board.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Right.
Because if we did it, Amanda was gonna go out and buy.
I need a good trailer. I don't approve that one. Not yet. Gotta talk to my husband.
Any other new business?
That's it.
You had these,
Oh, sure, yeah, well, this isn't quite business just yet, but, me and Amanda have been kind of talking about, she got me in touch with this company out of St. Louis that makes, rack card displays, basically. They can do things custom as well. So everything's kind of made to order. But we've isolated some different places that we think they should be around town. That's not downtown St. John because, when we talk to different folks, Brad at the water park is always like, I bring in, he says he brings in 60,000 people to St. John a year for that water park, but they never turn right to come downtown. They all turn left and leave town again.
SCA did put some brochure racks out there. I
Okay.
don't know if they're still there. We didn't fill them last year. But there should be, yeah, they're small, but there should be some out there. And until we would do something else, you just have to take rack art out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important if we
I
do
mean,
something.
personally, I'm hoping to get this moving very quickly.
And I think that one important thing with these is wherever they go, there should be a map on them whether you are here, showing them where they are in relationship to the rest of the city.
Yeah, and
Whether it's in the downtown area or up at the water park
Yeah.
or at one of the hotels or shopping center or anything like that.
this company that makes these, 100% all of this is custom. If we say we want round corners, they would put round
Right.
corners. I think the big round one is the one that we really were like eyeballing.
Yeah.
We threw together some examples of things that could be done.
Yeah, that could be done.
And
And
like the bottom portion of this could lift up and store extra rack cards too.
right. And, they can do stuff that can handle weather. If it would be outside, obviously the water park would be something like that. But Amanda, said we could put them in the community center, welcome center, license office, water park, southbound fuel, the Midway gas station, the rest area in Bloomsdale, the museum learning center, all those places should definitely have, eventually. We'll see how much they cost. That's one thing. And I'm kind of working these designs. I'd rather something that kind of had like a little sort of cove-esque feel. So either a bifold or sort of a, a little tri-corner, I guess you'd call it. I don't know.
I was listening when you read that list off, but do you have Dairy Queen off by 55? Because
No.
that would be,
That'd be another,
and like even
They don't have a lot of
McDonald's,
floor space, but
anytime I'm on
if they would
vacation.
let us do that, that'd be a great place.
Yeah, anytime on vacation though, you
Yeah.
go into a McDonald's and there is
Yeah.
brochure racks. So
Yeah, I was thinking they didn't have much room. That's why I said southbound, because they have more room.
Yeah, so that'd be a great spot if they'd let us.
Yeah.
All the ones, a license office, I don't know what the place, but
I know,
all the
I'm
other
like,
ones
I
were,
Yeah,
All the other
before we came to St. Genevieve, we had them in several stops on a highway, on 61, up near Hannibal in that area. And they had just about a dozen spots and several small ones. And we had ours in there and they were very successful at bringing people off the highway into the town.
the sports tournaments that they have, I think, at community center or something.
right,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's a no-brainer. I would definitely tell you to push forward on this to figure out, all the ones you mentioned were a great idea.
What do we gotta do? Make it happen?
I think we gotta get some pricing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and just I've got to get some designs kind of sewn down.
yeah, and I really don't have any ideas of any other place that do that kind of work. That company, they're top notch. They do some really good work.
Who's the company?
It's independent graphics, right? Yeah. I work with some, hang on, it's independent graphics. They're out of St. Louis.
Creative Touch right here in town, in the county, right out by the Dollar General at Weingarten.
I couldn't see them doing something like this. I could be wrong.
That's the only person I can think of.
Yeah. This company, they do a lot of work at the veteran wall in Perryville. They have done a lot there. I've done a lot with them there. You can see they do stuff for, I think this is Buckeyes. Or Tractor Supply. I've done, it's insane the amount of work they do.
Do you have ideas for where we would have these? Matt, I know we just went through a few, but did you have any that you?
No, I mean, I think those are kind of the no-brainers. I mean, I would really love to see some stuff at the water park in the community center. I mean, that just makes.
The antique mall.
Oh, antique.
yeah.
So the antique, I mean, we can definitely make one there, but me and me and Patrick have talked about, he's eventually going to give me 2 booths to like create a Visit St. John booth. Yeah, so, but yeah, I'm
They
with
get
you.
crazy numbers there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy when you go there on the weekend, you're like, cool. This is
Block and a half away, I've never seen those people.
Yeah, we need that. Find a way to push those people your way too, yeah, be smart.
Is this, is this for St. John City or is this county? You know, because like, would things go in this rack that would be like
Oh, yeah.
on State Park?
Okay, everything.
Everything,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so then we can go anywhere in the county, really, as far as putting this out somewhere, right? Like Dewdrop wouldn't be a bad place either.
That would be a good one. Joe
Yeah.
just brought up Perry County, Heritage Tourism. Maybe we can do like a swap.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I think they would be down for that, absolutely. Talk with Trish, I'm sure she would.
Yeah. And I did put on there, northbound rest area. I don't even know if there's a southbound one anymore, is there?
Where at?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, hey, northbound,
No, it sucks.
but it is like the only rest area in a long way.
It's closed until May, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's closed.
For a while.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that one. But, I mean, yeah, one in Perryville would be very smart and,
I think she'd be pretty open to that.
absolutely, yeah, no. she-
I wonder if Love's in Bloomfield.
I
was thinking.
And then I don't,
Oh, did you see the billboard we put up?
What?
So that, well, we put a, so on 61 heading southbound, just north of the Beacon, a gentleman put a private billboard up and built 3 of them. Joe's on one side of it. But on the side heading southbound, we put one for the Beacon on the top, and then the middle one has the Audubon and Danny's, but it says visit historic Merchant Street, downtown St. John. So kind of a cool little,
I
yeah.
haven't seen the graphics yet on that.
Yeah, it's done. It's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, they just did it last week.
Congrats.
It's kind of cool because both locations are on Merchant Street.
Yeah, I know.
And say visit historic Merchant
I
Street.
was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, yeah, you're kind of
Kind
like,
of cool.
you got the corners there.
But yeah, if we get this farther out of the county, you know, instead of kind of focus around here, get it out there to the Dewdrop, get it to the Loves, and I think that would be, because you're right, you go into it, there's lots of, well, on any road trip, you pull in a gas station, if there's something nearby, there's something inside that gas station or, you know, with pamphlets about what they have.
I mean, if we're also looking at like Perryville or something like that, I mean, why wouldn't we? Like, I've never been to the Arch, but I've been meaning to make it over there just to see what it's like there.
Never been to the Arch.
Never been to the Arch. No, yeah. And you know, I've been wanting to like put our rack cards in there or something like that. I mean, we have a National Historic Park. People are going to the Arch to get their little
Yeah.
stamp.
Yeah.
Why aren't
There
they
ain't no
coming
reason
down?
not to do that.
Yeah, why aren't they coming down an hour to get their stamps from us as well? So, yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that. Maybe one of these could go in there.
What is the, do you know, I know you said you're going to look at pricing, but do you have any rough estimates or guesses on what this is looking like?
I was guessing 2,000 to 3,000.
Per?
I would think so.
Oh, Dolly, that's a lot.
I mean, but think about
It's
it.
custom, I mean, they are custom and,
Think about it, you put a sign on your building, those are not, they're not cheap.
no, those aren't cheap.
Yeah, and they do them all the way from just something with whole 8 rack cards with just a little header on them.
Yeah.
And all the way up to big, you know, freestanding.
Would it be possible, feasible, reasonable, whatever, to put a QR code on it that would link to the St. Genevieve calendar? Like,
Oh, yeah, that would
see
be-
what's happening now, and then you scan it, it takes you to what's happening
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
that day on the calendar.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I need to figure out how that'll all work once we get visit.
And then who's gonna maintain all of them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, because if you're,
Yeah.
you know, if you're
You
gonna
just-
fill them all up.
We used to have a route because we had several of them across all the way down 44. We had some stops and out 70. And I don't remember, they paid somebody. There's a company that will service them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CMT does that.
But yeah, CTM, yeah,
So
CTM.
CDM, but only on the ones that they,
Yeah.
that are their subscribers.
Yeah, this one would be different. These would all be probably, we'd have to figure out a way to internally service them.
Yeah, because especially if you're gonna put a QR code on there, you're gonna have to check that so often to make sure someone didn't cover it up with an interesting QR code.
No, that's true.
You know,
But,
so I mean, they're gonna need maintenance
Never heard of
if we
that.
do
But
this.
something like that, we can talk about in the future, hiring somebody, not hiring somebody, but like paying somebody a certain amount to go do that. I guess hiring somebody, yeah. Some college kid or something. I mean, somebody will do it.
College kids. Oh, I've got a lot of free time. I'll bring my baby
There
and
you go.
a bottle.
Hold these cards.
Oh, it's heavy for you, huh? Yeah.
Any other new business? Any other business, before we get to the marketing, grant? Okay, our marketing grant application,
Oh, it's me.
you're up.
Do I come up here and just?
Come to the mic.
Feels so official.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Sam Conlon. I have a few businesses on Main Street. And we've been having trouble getting people to come down Main Street, I think, more than the rest of town. So we're trying to organize ourselves 'cause we feel a little excluded or anyway, we want to try to bring more business to our part of town. Although I'd love to spread that out more. So we did a Mardi Gras event last year. And when it was proposed, honestly, I have to say, the woman, Linda, proposed it and said, we'll probably get 200 people. And I was like, man, if we get 6 people to come to an event outside in February in this small town, I'd be impressed. And we had more than 200 people come. It was fabulous. It was so good. And everybody had a great time. And there were costumes and a costume contest. And it was so bare bones. We were just like putting it on our Facebook pages and, bless Patrick for letting us use his printer to print up flyers and stuff. By the 3rd round, he was like, maybe we had to come up with another way to print these. But anyway, I was very impressed with our numbers and it got us excited to possibly do this more. We're a French colonial town and we don't have a Mardi Gras event. So it's pretty exciting that so many people came, both from town and from St. Louis. Our queen, God bless our queen. Who is that woman? Love her. She brought a bunch of people from the, I guess, Kirkwood or Webster Groves area or whatever. And they were all in full costume, and it was lovely. So we would like to do that more and on a bigger scale. And we need help with some marketing for that event.
Do you have a current budget that you're working with before the grant, other than the grant?
I tried to ask people what we all spent. We just kind of did things. None of us kept, because we weren't a grant or anything. We were just doing it by the seat of our pants and everybody just kind of paid some money, I'll print these up or whatever. So if you're asking what we spent last year, I have no idea. Most of the money went to through Patrick's printer, I think.
How are you thinking about marketing? Are you thinking more digital with this, with the money?
Yep, more digital, some local radio stations. Let's see what else we got in here. Printing flyers, promotional handouts. I handmade 100 signs and hand decorated and put them around, but it turned out they were too small. But that was all I could afford. I had to be able to get 2 on a sheet because that's what my budget was. So we want to do some radio and print ads in local southeastern Missouri and southern Illinois. I did not just say that. We're obviously going to do all of our free social media through Facebook, which is very powerful. Although if we had help with social media, we're all old ladies on North Main Street and none of us are good at tech. None of us are good at tech. So if we could have Hannah or something for that, that would be awesome. And advice on what we can do promotionally would be great. Technical assistance.
This is on a Friday, so
Definitely.
it ties in, I guess, with the 4th Friday. So is this like a month before, when you start back up 4th Fridays down,
That is an excellent question that I do not know the answer to. Our event is February 28th.
it's a Friday, right? Looks like it was a Friday.
Yeah, that sounds right. And last time we did do it on a 4th Friday.
I don't know if we,
And there's no art walk that week.
No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
yeah, that's too early for an
I
art
don't know if
walk.
it started in March and this was just kind of perfectly timed where it worked out
Yeah.
a month before Fourth Friday art walks or not. So,
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty close.
you know, I think it's,
So, yeah, there is no.
My only
there's no-
question is it free of charge? And it says admission.
It is free of charge. We didn't charge anything. We'd like to have some contests and we can, all the businesses can do a gift basket of our stuff. We were thinking about a dress up your wagon thing, but then I saw that lighted parade. And I don't know why we wouldn't use those people for absolutely every event. That was so wonderful. A nighttime thing lit up. The people doing it seemed to be having a good time. The people loved it. You mentioned that they didn't throw out much candy. I had one of them throw candy. I was under a street light and could not find that piece of candy. We shouldn't be throwing out candy at night. You can't see them. It'll just be garbage everywhere. Unless, yeah, beads. Beads. Take that money and spend it on Mardi Gras beads. Yeah, for sure. But I think the lighted people, we can have a contest for them, best lighted vehicle. We could throw in a wagon, some sort of contest, and we'll give a gift basket or, whatever.
are you guys having?
But we think it'll, it brings the people who come, it's 4 to 8 p.m. and then there's an after party. Those people are not going to drive back home to St. Louis that night. So they'll be staying in our Airbnb and VRBOs and
Having
hotels.
music down there?
We will, yeah, Chris will have music at Music Art Love.
Wagon for that? You gonna need a hay wagon for that?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. And then last year she had mask making and an astonishing number of people made masks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is she-
Like hundreds.
Is she charging for the music,
I don't think there's a charge for anything. She's paying for that out of her pocket. Unless she got a grant. Maybe that might have been what she looked for a grant for.
Yeah.
Last year it was out of her pocket.
The big thing is gotta be free and open to the public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few little things that you have to pay for, that's
Yeah.
understandable, but like the event has to be free and open to the public.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want any restrictions to people showing up for sure. So yeah, we're not gonna charge. It's February in Missouri.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yep.
Warm, rain, or cold.
And
Or three.
Are you going to be the primary person responsible for the money?
I'm gonna be the
Divvying it up?
person you call, but not necessarily the person
Because
responsible.
there is someone who gets isn't there some kind of form or something they have to fill out?
Yes.
I filled out a form.
No, there's a form,
Oh, another form.
more forms.
Yeah, there's an agreement, and then also the responsibility to provide receipts for all expenses to go against that grant.
Okay,
We know the grant has been spent properly. That way we can renew the grant if it comes for next year.
awesome.
We get all the receipts and everything comes in.
Easy peasy.
And then we'll ask you to come back after the event and give a report how it went.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll be that person.
Do you have a good email address?
Can you text me instead? I haven't checked my email in 10 years. Please don't make me do that.
Come get it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can call me. I'll come pick things up. I will crawl here before I will check my email.
We know you.
So I'm involved in this event. Do I need to not vote?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, you make the mask.
Make the mask.
How many masks last year? That was you?
It was, yeah, it was, we bought like 350 masks and I took 15 back to our site.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, it was insane. The whole time, I was only there for a couple hours and I was.
So mask making supplies.
Mask making supply.
Mask making supplies seems like it would be pretty great. This year, I would like to make some like blank crowns that are awesome on their own, but that people could decorate if they wanted as well. But that's a me thing, I guess.
Good idea. Ties in perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody wants a crown.
This long for this. This is great.
Right?
Yeah. the good stuff.
I honestly, when Linda suggested it, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll try it. I'll try anything at this point. It's been 5 years of nothing.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the $500, but
Contingency.
no, there's no real contingency. I think we need a better system with the form that is filled out afterwards, because I was involved in Palooza and Steve received that, right?
Yeah, you can.
And Sam, and no one knew of this form. So I think we need to be, everyone needs to be accountable. If they receive this money, they should have to.
Maybe the accountability form or what could be given out with the check, so they have it right there.
And
to know
it
what
must
they
be
need.
returned within 30 days after,
Right.
something like that.
All of this, again, when they sign for the check, they sign it, they're receiving it, they would provide the form back within 30 days.
So who's responsible for writing that stuff?
So I'm a little confused with what you're asking.
Just for the,
Do you want us to do reimbursement, or do you want us to give a check up front?
No, I think you can give the check, but they need to, the form needs to be given to them at the same time, and they need to know that it needs to be returned within, at the next meeting.
The form being receipts and how it went.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly receipts, basically the financial portion of it.
All right.
Because this is money that's being granted, but it also is money that's being granted for a purpose. We need to know, make sure that the money is spent for that purpose.
and it's probably.
That's perfectly reasonable.
Renewal.
And I'm not picking on you, I was just.
No, that's fine.
Brought it up to the
Yeah.
Palooza, I'm like, hey, did you guys fill out that form? They're like, what form are you talking about?
Right.
So we math it out and we give them the contract, the agreement. Doesn't mean they,
Yeah,
it gets to the right person, so I don't know.
yes, maybe we should just let them know, like, you have to come to the next meeting, give us a report, and turn your paper in.
Where are these filed? Are these filed away?
David's got a file in his office.
Okay.
Okay, so my motion still stands. You second it?
I'll second.
All in favor?
That was very unenthusiastic.
Whitney needs to abstain.
Yeah.
She already said she doesn't
Yeah.
need to be part of it.
Yes.
So it was me, I said aye.
Thank you.
They're really good at projecting your voice. You should be a mature.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
She's in control.
There you go. Thank you, Sam. Looking-
All right. So that's enough people.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about the Christmas festival, can I talk about that?
We had public forum earlier.
I just want to say the numbers for the parade you said were great, but nobody came down North Main. I did, I think, $200. I normally do $1,000 per store on Christmas walk, and nobody, like 10 people max down on North Main Street. Just saying.
During the parade on the Saturday.
During the parade, there were people.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess it's our responsibility to get them into the stores, but as soon as the parade was over, they just
Was it like that every?
disappeared. I've never had, 24 years I've had in my store. I have never had, even in the last 5 years of nothingness, at least Christmas Walk had people. This was the first year. I just, nobody came.
Wow.
To at least down our end. I don't know what the numbers were in the rest of the town, and I'm thrilled that the parade had attendees, and that should help us. And you know, maybe it's just we weren't decorated enough to get people to come in, or but it seemed like they just, you know, were there for the parade.
Most people that I interacted with were more event focused than shopping focused, which was a little bit different, I think, than the past couple of years I've done it. So it might just be that we're getting a different, like this demographic is looking for an experience as opposed to.
Our sales were,
I wonder if we advertised experience more than.
well, our sales for the same thing were good until the parade started. About 3:30 when they started lining up for the parade, and then they were done.
Right.
Just, you know, it was a little different than last.
But yeah, right. Than every year.
Yeah, so, and that's, you pay your money, you take your chances.
Yeah, yeah. Overall, were your numbers normal?
Well, every year is its own thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh?
And yeah, they're all, basically, I look at it, you know, a month at a time, a quarter at a time, and they're all within 10%.
Really? Well, good job. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have to do that? Oh, I moved to adjourn.
I'll second.
Business.
Joe wants
Beat me
to.
to it. I think, let's do this.